In a world crying out for a top 10 show, John Roca and Matt Nost are here to bring you the top 10. Brought to you by the Schmoes Know. Take it away, boys. Welcome, everybody, to this week's edition of the Top 10 Show. I am John Roca.
I am Matt Nost.
And you are all with us here recording from my place this week.
Mm-hmm.
Our schedules have been crazy and jumping around and kinds of things. So, we find the time we can find them. What's going on?
Thank you for getting out the office chair for me. You've been here enough. I know.
Comfortable.
This is all I ask for. I like a chair with armrests, and the fact that it can swivel a little bit makes it even better.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, I bought two stands. See one right behind you? Two of these small stands.
Sure.
So my next purchase is going to be another chair like that, so that we can both sit comfortably and not have to hold the mics anymore when we come over to record. So I'm trying to make things a little more easier step by step as we go along. So when we record here, obviously we record most of the time at Collider, but when we record here, I'll do my best.
Well, I look forward to those changes. Are you going to put up soundproofing tile or anything like that?
You know what?
Black out the windows.
Don't
you just heard
around.
sirens.
That's right. That's the next step, is to put the sirens up. Yeah, because this is one of the most traveled streets in LA. You'll hear, there it is. You'll hear fire engines all the time.
I don't want to say where you live, but you live right next to three big complexes, so to speak.
Yeah. A major shopping center here in Los Angeles.
A major shopping center and two other things. It's just it's a lot of people. There's weird parking around this place.
There is.
It's a lot of, you got to read that sign careful. It's everything in LA when it has more than three or more for sure. I just don't even attempt to read. I just keep moving. Because it's just that some loophole. I got a ticket once. It's just it wasn't worth it. Yeah. I'll just keep looking. I got to walk further and further.
I know, you lucky people who live in smaller towns or towns that make sense in terms of parking. You have no idea how much you have a gift in your life, because out here in LA, like Matt said, you can go to a steel pole and it'll have 4 to 5 signs. And you'll be like, which one am I supposed to pay attention to?
It all makes no sense.
Yeah, I can park there, I think, for 10 minutes.
Not even. Because certain points, it's no one's allowed to park from here to here except permitted people. And then there's one for specific street sweeping. And then there's always a third one that it contradicts the first one. And you're but permit parking can't park here, but bum, bum, bum. It's so what does that mean? The non-permitted, then when the permitted can't, it's not worth it. It's not worth it.
You start beautiful minding this shit, because that's the only way out. You're writing it on. What's the equation? I don't know.
It's basically an SAT question. The answer is just a middle finger. That's all it is. Because that's all it's going to do is fuck you. You're it's not worth it. I'm going to keep moving because I can't make heads or tails of that. And I like to call myself an adult. There's nothing worse when you're befuddled as an adult and you're I don't know. And you just kind of have to walk away.
Right.
It's something I think I should know, but I guess I don't. So it's not worth the risk.
Matt, we didn't talk about this last week, but we are coming off our latest loss to the Patriots, if you can call it a loss. Do you want to say anything to the fans? Do you want to talk about it? Do you want to address it in any way? Do you want to explain what happened? Anything?
I like that you put the onus entirely on me.
No, I just said if you want to
first. Would you like to talk about it? And then I will dance around that subject with you.
No.
I won't broach anything, me personally.
Because I'll go off for 20 minutes, so I want to make sure you say what you need to say.
I think my thoughts on it are this. I don't acknowledge that the game happened.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's my stance.
Yeah.
I will take every other loss that I've had in the book, but that game, there's too many questions for me walking away, and I almost a sense of bewilderment. The moment happened so quickly, and it was just all kind of a daze of what the fuck happened?
Yeah.
What the fuck happened exactly? I don't understand. None of this makes sense to me, and you're just kind of walking out, and then you go out, and that's when we hung out with Alex Akos, and you want to get a picture, sure, picture, no problem. And talking to people, it was just in a daze.
Yeah.
In a daze. And then we had to record a show right after that.
We did with Gray. We did a great job. For those of you who don't know, we recorded that episode with Gray Drake right after we lost. Literally an hour after we lost, we were recording that fucking show.
Yeah.
And I have to commend us for our ability to keep it together and record a fun show.
Yeah.
And make Gray Drake feel like she
great.
wasn't even there. Like she wasn't even, like she didn't even experience any of the
Yeah, she didn't realize that we were wallowing in our own, filth internally. It's just I still don't have an answer.
Yeah.
Because when I asked the question off air, just like, why are we spinning again? There was just kind of I don't remember any answer given. And it was just moving forward, this monolithic force that now couldn't be changed. And just like, why are they spinning? Why?
Yeah. And I kind of blame myself on a couple of spots. One, I should have protested louder about the respin. I feel like sometimes I get influenced by people going, oh my God, let's just fucking get the game over with. And instead of fighting for what I think is right. Now, them complaining about the Westerns, about me not writing it down, even though I knew it and said it, which is what it's called, movie trivia schmodown, not movie write legibly schmodown. It's called movie trivia schmodown. So I said it, and I looked it to you, and I said, I think it's Jane Fonda. And then I started to write it before it ran out because there was a third. We had only one repeat left, and I didn't want to use it in the third round with the fourth and fifth round coming up, which would help us if we need to repeat something in the fifth round, just in case, just to give us a shot. And I just started to write furious, and my brain just shut the fuck down, and I couldn't put letters on that board before the time ran out. And people bitching that I wrote after the time, but fuck off. Go and watch all those matches. Everybody writes at one point after the fucking says pins down.
Especially if it's like a longer one or something.
Yeah.
It's just like, but I'll go to my grave. To my grave.
Yes.
I can stand before St. Peter or whoever else is judging, and I know for a fact you turned to me and said, no, I think it's Jane Fonda, and scratched out the answer, and literally as he's going to, and you're just like, Jane Fonda, as best you possibly could in that amount of time.
Yeah.
And fine, you don't want to award the points. Then another question from the category.
I would have accepted that, or that we just lost the points and they lost their points.
Yeah.
And then we'd have gone into
either
the
of those
round.
two seem fine to me, and just like okay.
But that's what no one is pointing out online, that Jeff got to challenge twice because he got the challenge that Christian initially awarded me the points, and that's the thing. People are like, "Oh, Roca erased the evidence." Bullshit. Christian said, you know what? Normally we wouldn't do this, but he did have the answer. He did know the answer. He did say it, but you guys didn't have it either, so he didn't cheat off your board. The whiteboard is like a backup, so I will give him the points. So when he said he gave me the points, I erased it. And then Snyder bitched and complained, and even though I got it right on a technicality. That's the difference, dude. I understand we're all heels and faces and all that bullshit, but there is fucking sportsmanship as well involved in the situation, and he was not a sportsman. I've been a heel. I know what it's like, and I've never not been a sportsman.
What do you expect
when I play a game
from a guy? Look, it's what I go back to most often with him, but he fucking chose a toothpick. That's an honest decision by an adult. That's strike 1, 2, and 3 out the gate. Yeah. You're like, dude, you can only check so many bags for that flight, and that thing counts for more than one. That's for damn sure. Are you kidding me? A fucking toothpick. Yeah. Like he's some low rate drug dealer in Miami in like '86 or something. Just ridiculous. And I think I'm envisioning that because he's worn a white suit of some kind. It just, dude.
You know he has.
I mean, think how bad your lifestyle is if you're a cokehead and you got a beer gut. You know what I mean? It's either that or you're an old man doing it, and your tickers are going to give out. So you might want to stop.
But it's just frustrating because people are accusing me of cheating or lying or I fucking said Jane Fonda. I didn't lie. And then JT in all his gall looked at me and he goes, "Well, we said John Wayne, so that narrowed it down for you." He actually said that to me. I go, "You fucking moron."
I think he was scrambling to find justification for everything going his way in that moment.
Yep.
I think that's all it is.
The second challenge is where I have an issue because that's how they got the respin. He's not. You can only challenge once. You can't challenge two different things in the same. It doesn't make sense.
That's why I don't acknowledge it.
Yeah.
That game didn't happen.
Yep.
As far as I'm concerned, that's a redo. That is a redo.
We should start over at that third round. Another Westerns question, scores all the same, and then write it out, and then see what happens. I'm cool with that. Or we get another check because the commissioner needs to lift this idea, or Christian, whoever's the commissioner at that, they need to lift this idea that we can't face them again because that's not an honest loss. An honest loss, take it, no problem. We admit we lost the second match. We were fucking ready. The first match was a fluke. The third match, this is bullshit.
We've done you're going to have to split up.
Yeah.
Match.
Yeah. We've done more than any other.
And guess what? That's been floated behind the scenes that you guys don't know about before. It was like, hey, if you guys lose this one, you got to think about new teammates.
Yeah.
And then we won a couple in a row, and just like, well, that chatter died down because this team fucking. If it weren't for shenanigans from the upper administration,
Yeah.
just the ridiculousness. I don't know who is Stephanie, and I don't know who's Triple H amongst those two.
Or Vince.
Yeah, Vince is out of the picture. He sold his shares in the company.
That's right.
He's opening his own football league. Good luck. That's going to fail. Way to get in on a sport that I question whether or not the NFL is going to be here in 20 years.
Yeah, what's the point of you doing another league?
I have no idea.
The league itself.
Ego?
Ego. That's what because
his rival became president, so now he wants to go and do this.
But also because he failed at it the first time. So he's like, I don't fail at things. I'm going to do it again and see what happens and whatever. But look, I get it. Christian got flustered. I get it. The judges, but like it's an unusual situation. But someone should have been level-headed enough to be like, no respin. Just another Westerns question, and we'd have gone forward from there, and then we'd have seen what happened. Of course, they'd have been, if we'd won, they'd have bitched about it and complained about it, whatever, but it still would have been a fair win or loss. And I think this way is just dirty. And I'll let you in on a little secret. Snyder admitted to me over the phone that if we stay together as a team and fight our way back, they will play us again. So this whole thing where we're not allowed to play them again, we're going to break that.
I don't even acknowledge him looking down saying he'll allow it because it's an inevitable. Yeah. You don't get to win like that and then act as though, you're some highbrow individual.
Yeah.
That you're above the fray. When you're down in the muck, you're basically from the Damned United. The one team that Michael Sheen goes to, one of the championships. Yeah, you did it the wrong way, though.
Leeds.
You did it the wrong fucking way.
Yeah.
And I agree with that. There's a way to, look, everybody gets flustered and every team has those moments.
Yeah.
But when that's your calling card, that makes you a shitty team.
Yeah.
It's just you're a bunch of bad people that are willing to do the underhanded thing to win.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. And when I pointed out the 2 or 3 times that Jeff has complained about the wording or complained about this or that when he got a question, or the Ant-Man situation, which he blocked Frank Janis for, more people chimed in with other things. The Guardians of the Galaxy question he had with Christian. He has always got a complaint about something. And that's what grates. And it goes beyond being the heel. It's just how he naturally is as a person.
All I know
is
next time he shows up at a Saturday.
Yeah.
And we're on opposite teams. I'm D'ing him up, dude. I'm blocking him at least twice. When I want to, I can still turn it on.
Yes.
And I can shut just about anybody down. I just can't do it all day anymore like I used to.
Right.
And he's easy.
Yeah.
He only can go to one side, and it's really poor, so I'll probably get a steal or two as well. And I'm just going to make his day terrible anytime he has to play me. It's going to make me feel so good. I cannot wait.
Well, my endurance is back up, so I'll be joining you on that court.
Yeah.
I would love to play Jeff or JT.
Cannot wait.
Or both.
Cannot wait. Take it to him every fucking time. Even score... We play to 11. My goal is 4 to 5 points on him every game.
Is he the kind of guy that calls ticky-tack fouls all the time?
I only played against him once the entire day that he showed up because he was on we ended up being on different courts the way it was rotating. Yeah. So I don't know.
I can only imagine.
Foul.
Anyway, so that's our thoughts. And so we'll see what happens. Going forward, but we're sticking together as a team. That we've made our decision. We're sticking together as a team. We'll see what happens. Is that correct?
That is correct.
That's right.
That is correct.
There you go. You hear from the official Top 10 show. The team Top 10 is staying together. So for those of you who are worried about it, the mystery is over.
Did the thought of retiring enter my head after this match? Yes.
Both of us.
Yes, it did.
I'll be honest with you.
Not even kidding. I walked out of that place that day and was like, you know what?
Yeah.
Fuck this.
Yeah. Our post-match interview was no
that was
act.
That was real.
That was real.
It was like, why?
Yeah.
Why, man? This is like the 4th time I'm leaving after having done these. So I'd say about a 25% chance now when I leave there, I'm going to walk out going, why did I show up? Why did I show up? I just feel like everything was stacked against me. Sometimes maybe it is just random luck, but when it's happening 20 to 25% of the time that I have a match now, it's like, God damn, man.
Yeah.
It sucks to be the bearer of all this bad news.
That's why people someone walked out of our match and was under their breath. They were like, drama. And I almost exploded. Almost exploded. And when that person was lucky, I'd done my therapy because I was ready to explode. Because that person has no knowledge of what it's like to be in a situation like that. And to make a little shitty comment like that as they're walking by, I was like, fuck you. So anyway, that's our thoughts on the whole situation. Let's move past it, have a fun show. Oh, I do want to talk about one last thing. Matt, some stuff came up in the group today, and I want to talk to you about it, I guess, on the show so people can understand. Some people were worried about, some people were trying to post our old lists from our old canon episodes from when we first started. Okay. And I said that we don't want to have those lists up, and we don't want to post those lists because that's the old show.
Okay.
And do you have an issue with that? Like, do you not want? Because I thought we had agreed
if
that we
it
weren't going to put them up.
well, I kind of give them respect if you want to put it like.
Okay.
That means you put the list together yourself a long time ago.
Okay.
Back before there was like Kristen, who's so nice to do it for us every week and make a graphic, and it makes it easy to find, and it's amazing to have.
Okay.
Because some people have found ways to find old podcasts. I don't even know how it's possible. They're like, hey, search here to find it. So if you can do it, go right ahead. Go right ahead.
Okay. So because I had thought we had decided that we weren't going to have those lists as canon anymore, and we were just going to go forward.
Look,
but you don't care in the group.
Your opinion changes over time.
Yeah.
So it's canon in that it was canon that day.
Okay.
Like some things don't change, but as time progresses, certain movies begin to fade and others take their place, and it's just kind of the natural progression for me, at least.
Right.
That within a genre, certain ones are just those are in stone.
Okay.
And then others are just like, I watch this one more now than I do that one, and I just it crept higher onto my list a couple years later.
Okay.
Shit evolves.
All right. So Matt Knows has said it. I will agree with that. So if you want to post lists, our old lists from our old episodes, back when we first were doing it, like 3 years ago almost, like I think, then feel free to post it in the group as you see fit. I was clearly wrong. I thought we'd come to
I don't care. Look, if it bothers you, totally fine.
Doesn't bother me.
Because I am indifferent to it. I'm tip of the cap to the fact that you put in all this work way back when is my only. So sure, go right ahead.
Well, I'm a military guy, so to me it's like, what's the rules? What are the rules? And so I thought we had agreed on that. So the fact that it doesn't bother you, then fuck it. For anybody who had an issue with posting, that I had an issue with posting the lists, you are now free to post the lists in the Facebook group. I rescind my statement about it, and so you're good to go. There we go. Alexakos, if you're listening, they're allowed to post the list if they like. There we go. The old lists. Okay. So anyway, now that we've handled all this business, got everything out of the way, let's have a fun show. This week, Matt, we decided to do top 10 time travel movies, which are from a Patreon, right? Citizen Ugly.
Citizen Ugly.
That's what he wants to go by. That's what he is on Twitter as well.
Yeah, exactly. That's what you put your name in as on Patreon.
Yeah.
So Citizen Ugly.
There you go. He sent us like three. I'm assuming him or her sent us three separate topics, and we chose this one. We liked this one the most, and it gave us something fun to talk about. So this is the one we're doing this week, because there's not much coming out this week that we felt we wanted to talk about or come up with a list for.
Yeah, originally when we looked at the upcoming months, this week was like I don't know what we could do for this weekend specifically. So much I don't even know what's coming out now because we don't have something focused on the weekend.
Yeah. And we decided to do this because so many of you have been donating at the highest level. We want to get
we're going to work in, make sure we're going to try and do at least one a month when we get to the Patreon. So, that way we can still bring in guests and figure out like topics and stuff like that and forecast out.
Absolutely.
So we'll try and work those in, at least once a month. Some months, like we've done in the past, we do 2 or 3 in one month. If it's a slow month, so in the fall and in the early, late winter, midwinter, whatever the case is. Yeah. Those are big pockets of there's a lot of crap out, so might as well have some fun with this. And then throughout the year, there will be at least 1 week a month where it's just like, we've done everything for this weekend. Let's see what the fans want to hear about. We chose time travel. There's a lot of movies.
There is a lot. I have like almost as many honorable mentions as I do on the list.
Yeah.
It's insane. I didn't know there were that many in my mind. And I just started doing the list and compiling and look at things. I was like, man, this is a lot.
And it's hard.
Fuck. Yeah, it is hard.
It is hard.
It was so hard to cut this list down.
It was, man. Okay, so this is one of those lists where 10 was cemented.
Yep.
But 9, I had 5 movies.
Yeah.
And they're all equally deserving. So I chose one that was a more unique take on it.
Yeah.
But that was it. That was my only rationale. Just like, okay, it's that. Because I could throw a dart and make a case for any of them. So the way we do the show is once John and I set a topic, we go our separate ways and create individual top 10 lists and show back up here. I do my bottom 3, he does his bottom 3, I do my next 2, he does his next 2. Then we trade one apiece. Once we have revealed our personal top 10 list, we create the shows between the two of us.
Boom!
So at 10 for me was my cemented. I knew it was going there.
You knew it was going to be number 10.
Knew it was going to be number 10.
Okay.
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Wow, we have to punt.
We have to punt?
Just by a couple.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's fair.
Yeah.
So 9 was the fight out. This is where everything was trying to get out.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
5 movies fighting for slot number 9.
In essence, yeah.
That's great.
Number 9, I just chose it. It was like, you know what? I'm going to pick that one. Why not?
You're gonna go
Doctor Strange.
Wow.
I like the manipulation of time is one sequence over and over and over and over.
Interesting.
And using that as a form of, look, I can't overpower you, but I can beat you into submission in another way.
Okay.
And using his intellect to ultimately force that circumstance at the end of the movie.
Right.
Messing with things he shouldn't be doing.
Yes.
But he had to take such a journey to get to a point where that was the most humble thing he could do on some level, because he knows he can't beat this all-powerful being.
Right.
So what advantage do I have? I have to have something. And to come up with this, it's a great, tiny little, I can take this beating forever.
Yeah.
And you're just going to have to relive this moment over and over. And just that within a time travel, because usually it's a huge, grandiose, they're moving, shifting through time or centuries or whatever the case is, just massive. And this is just, no, this is a tiny little increment of time repeated ad infinitum, just boom, just hitting you over and over. And I liked it for that reason.
Right on, man.
So that's why I chose it. I was like, oh, that's a unique version.
It's a great choice.
8, Source Code.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That got in your list.
Yeah.
That's great. That's one of my honorable mentions. I love that movie.
That movie, because I figured out what was going to happen before it happened.
Oh, you did? Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know. Man, that's great.
Not long before, but I was like, God, it keeps leading to, and I don't want to ruin it because I don't, this wasn't a huge movie.
Right.
As it's leading to, you just notice his state more and more and more. And I picked up on eventually, it was just like, his interactions are very limited. Why is that? And just start asking questions from that, and it mushroomed out. So I took a couple guesses, and that was the most.
Yeah.
And then it ends up that way, but it's haunting.
Yeah.
Like
Agreed.
his position and him understanding the choice that he makes ultimately is it's the only choice you have.
Yeah.
And it's brutal, man.
Yeah, man. And it's a fantastic. Duncan Jones directed this movie.
Yeah.
He did Moon as well.
Yeah,
And
that's right.
I don't know where this Duncan Jones has gone, because I didn't like Warcraft and I didn't like Mute, which was on Netflix. And I'm like, where's this guy gone? It's the son of David Bowie. And he did these two films are fantastic, Moon and Source Code. And the rumors are that Moon was in Source Code, like it's a universe that he's creating. That there was a thing that happened in Source Code that alludes to Moon, and so, or there's a thing in Moon that alludes to Source Code. Either way, they're supposedly interact in the same universe. So it's something, but it's some of Jake Gyllenhaal's best restrained acting. And Michelle Monaghan is incredible as well, who I've always loved, and I love her in all these movies. Whenever she gets to be like the co-lead, it's great. And Farmiga's chilling, dude.
It's one of those man, she's so good, and she got a chance to do a bunch of different movies.
Yes.
Problem is, most of them weren't like huge movies,
right?
And it seemed like that was her shot, and unfortunately, she picked some things that ended up being good movies that just didn't have the traction that you assumed the projects she was in. She was good, and then what is it? David Wright, the guy that's in
Jeffrey
Westworld,
Wright.
Jeffrey Wright.
Yes,
he's awesome at it. And you understand his position, too, ultimately. Like, he seems like this callous individual, but when you kind of take a step back and go to a more super position where he's at in comparison to where Jake Gyllenhaal is and Vera Farmiga kind of wrapped up between the two of them, it's complex, and yet they managed to get that complexity down to something that anybody can follow as it's going along.
And the dad stuff is great. Oh, my God, it's so emotional, man. It's fucking great.
Yeah, over and over, man. It was a good movie.
Cool. I respect it. All right.
What do you got at 10?
My 10 is Interstellar.
That is a punt. That is a punt.
All right. Then my number 9, which I really struggled. I think it's so funny that your number 9, mine. I did the same thing. Like, I knew Stellar was going to be my foundation, and 9 was kind of where I was dancing. Like, there's so many that could have qualified. And in the end, I had to do this one because of just the fact that it's a film of quality, Planet of the Apes. So not on your list.
Not on my list.
Okay. About Time was going to be there. And in the end, I was like, as much as I love that film, and I fucking love that film, and I've talked about it ad nauseum on our show, how much I love that film, I feel like Planet of the Apes.
About Time?
Yeah, About Time, the one where he
I know which one it is.
Yeah.
We've talked about that?
Yeah, I've mentioned it a few times on the show.
Okay,
so.
mentioned it, or it made a list?
No,
list?
I don't know if it ever made a list, but it's something I've always talked about.
Okay.
So, but like this, I had to put Planet of the Apes because it's a classic. And so it's one of those great films that 1968, really incredible time where Charlton Heston is like making this transition from matinee idol to older male lead, and he does this weird science fiction films like Omega Man, this film. He even comes back in one of the sequels in the prison. Like, it's weird, like what Heston was doing during this time. You know what I'm saying? This transition time for him in his career. But I also think it's an incredible film when you look back on it now, that it's speaking about race relations. It still echoes in what's going on now.
Sure.
This whole thing where at the end where he's like staring at the Statue of Liberty, no matter what, no matter what you feel, I didn't say why, but no matter what you feel about whatever side you're on or whatever side you're not on, like that's a possibility for you in your mind in the future, you know? And so this whole, and of course I've talked about the Simian Revolution many, many times, Simian Uprising rather. And so it just has a special place.
Simian Uprising.
So, but I enjoy the performances. I think it's, you know, the music is it's a very topical film, but it's also it's a dated film for its time, but it's a film that still works and is still scary and harrowing, and the whole idea of how we treat animals and put them in a zoo, having that treatment turned around on us and being told we're idiots and like we do with animals, where they're only capable of the most simplistic thinking, that kind of stuff. So I just thought it was really brilliant how it turned the entire idea of humanity on its head throughout the whole movie. And you can write essays about this film. So, all right, that was my number 9.
One of the first things I think of is The Simpsons. You ever see the one where they show up and Troy McClure's in the Planet of the Apes?
Yes.
Dr. Zayas. That's what I think of.
No, that's great.
It was New York the whole time, just doing that big Broadway guys and dolls type. I love it.
My favorite song on that is when they made a monkey out of me.
Man, when The Simpsons was good, it was the best.
Dude.
It was the best.
That episode is top 10
episodes. With Troy McClure.
Absolutely.
With Troy McClure.
Like say it.
Yeah, Phil Hartman, man. Rest in peace, my friend.
Oh, God, man. Yeah, Phil, the best. All right, so then my number 8 is the punt from earlier, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Oh, well, I don't know why we had to punt.
Well, 2. I said 2, a couple.
Yeah, but it's in that bottom 3, baby.
All right.
It's in that bottom 3.
So there it is. All right. Well, do you want to talk about what do you think? Since it was your number 10, you mentioned it first.
Did we do this on a Thunderdome like a year and a half ago or something?
Did we? Excellent
I watched
Adventure?
it not long ago.
Okay.
And that's why it still makes my list.
I feel like we haven't talked about it.
Really? I've watched it for some aspect of this show within the past 2 years.
All right.
For sure.
Okay.
I don't know why. I'd have to go back and look. I don't remember what it was for.
Maybe it was for comedies of some kind? Maybe.
Perhaps.
Yeah. We don't do a lot of comedies. It's ironic. A lot of comedy lists.
It's kind of too subjective.
Yeah.
Especially, we've got some in the pipeline where I think we've narrowed it down a little bit, so it makes it easier. Oh, okay, we're splitting the atom on that a little bit.
Yeah.
But for Bill and Ted's, I mean, look, it's stupid fun.
Yeah.
It's a ridiculous. What would two seemingly stoner characters, but they're not stoners, but they still have a lot of mentality of they live in the valley.
Right.
I love that I've actually accidentally driven to that water park twice.
Have you really?
Yeah.
How funny.
My wife's bookkeeper used to live out near that, and I just drop off down to her a couple times. And once it was forced that way because I had to go up to that exit to turn around to come off because of the highway.
Yeah.
And then the first time I got lost, and I was like, how did I end up? I was only like 2 miles away, but I was like, oh my God, this is from Bill and Ted's. Like, it blew my mind just out of nowhere.
That's brilliant.
Yeah. But to go back through, like, pulling Napoleon out, pulling Sigmund Freud.
Yeah.
Pulling, is it Aristotle they take?
Yeah,
or
Aristotle.
Is it, okay, Aristotle. I couldn't remember.
Or is it Plato?
Or is it Plato?
And
or is it Socrates?
And Socrates. Yeah, that's right.
Socrates?
Yeah.
And then they have, is it Mozart or do they have Beethoven?
I feel like it's probably Beethoven. Makes the most sense because he's such a stuffy guy.
Yeah, he is. Oh, that's right. Yeah, he's very stuffy. But then he gets in that the keyboard whatever store.
Right.
What I always assume are drug fronts now. Whenever I drive past, every once in a while you'll drive past and there'll be a store that just sells pianos, and you're like, how?
How do you come up with that they're drug fronts?
Because something has to be subsidizing the overhead of keeping this place open, and they're laundering money through it.
So you don't think people will buy pianos anymore for their houses?
Not to justify. I've seen some in prime locations.
Oh, yeah.
Prime, like down in San Diego in La Jolla, which is in the top 10 of most expensive real estate in the country.
Absolutely.
There's a piano store right across from a Ferrari and like a Bentley dealership. And you're like, how? How do you afford the rent? How is that possible?
Don't get a shot, man. Yeah, fair.
Don't get a shot. Well, the other ones that blow my mind are up on Ventura, up in Studio City, where you pass like Children's Workshop, store, and you're like, no kid wants this. any of these toys. The entire thing. Like, no, how? And you've been open for 10 years.
So you think it's got the drugs in there?
I think it's a drug front.
Wow.
On some level.
Fair enough. You cracked the case.
Well, on that one, it's either that or a rich spouse is indulging their other spouse's, business interests.
That could be
which
it.
happens quite a bit in this town as well.
That's true.
But anyway, Bill and Ted's.
Keanu Reeves, Alex Winter. Great stuff. Keanu back when people
George
didn't
Carlin.
think, George Carlin, of course. The
George
master.
Carlin.
The master.
Outside of his Fox show, what other acting did he? Dogma?
Yeah, Dogma, I guess.
Anything? I mean, I'm sure bit parts here and there. Was he in Car Wash?
He might have been.
Yeah.
Back in those days when every comic was in those 70s films. Yeah. But he's one of those guys. Carlin is so great because Carlin is one of those guys that stayed angry to the end. Like, and I don't mean like Bill Hicks or Sam Kinison kind of angry. He was still worldly. Like his comedy didn't change. Like Richard Klein got softer as he got older. All these guys who were really hard edge younger, they got softer as they got older. Crystal, soft as hell as he got older.
Yeah.
But like Carlin stayed on the edge all the way to the end. I love that. Pryor kind of did too until he got with the drugs and stuff. But Carlin always did to the end. I love that.
Yeah, but there were points with Carlin where it almost seemed like he was tired. Not to say that he was, but it was just like he's pissed off at the mundane things, and it just like of an hour, it's like 20 minutes on that, and you're like, this doesn't really seem. Usually, you have more substance, and it's also he was doing so many specials.
Yeah, he really was.
How do you generate? Like it's also putting unfair standards on a guy. He was doing something before. Now it's commonplace,
right?
And he was decades before anybody was thinking of doing. Like I come out with a new special all the time, kind of thing. Not once a year, but what do you have? 11 something ridiculous like that HBO specials. Like he had a lot.
Yeah, and they were legendary. I mean, that whole 7 words you can't say.
It was event. Television.
Absolutely.
It's a reason. Like I pay for that. For HBO to get this type of luxury.
Exactly.
Yeah,
it was great.
It's not TV. It's HBO.
That's right.
It used to mean something.
It did. But this is such a fun film going all the way around. I mean, I just enjoyed. It's nice to revisit this every few years. Every couple of years, I enjoy it revisiting. It's so much fun, and you remember when Keanu was this? Do you know what I'm saying? And now he's like, of course, what he is now.
Yeah.
But like, it's always nice to go back and revisit like this the sweetness of both those guys in this role. Their innocent naivete about everything, right? And that's what because they're not stupid for stupid's sake. They're just not that smart, but they're like charmingly not that smart.
Yeah.
And because they rip away like the veneer of how you're supposed to act or how you're supposed to be treated. And underneath even the most important men is this child inside who just wants to enjoy himself or herself. And that's what I love about the film is they explore that. And then of course they have the big ending and the time and all that kind of jazz going all around. So it's just a blast. All right. So what's your number 7, man?
My number 7 is Edge of Tomorrow.
Oh, we're punting.
We're punting?
Oh, yeah.
Good. Good.
Okay, what's your number 6?
My number 6, this is probably another punt. Star Trek 4.
Not on my list, if you can believe it.
Wow.
I put it in. There are just so many good ones, Matt.
It's my favorite Star Trek.
Yeah. Look, I feel terrible, but it's not on my list. Go ahead.
It's my favorite Star Trek.
Okay.
And
over Khan?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Because this is the first one that I saw in a theater where I was like, the magic of it so captivated me that I went back and watched the others. I'm sure I saw like Saturday afternoon they'd play some of the other Star Treks. I don't know if I'd seen one before this. Maybe. Yeah. I'd have to look at what year did it come out. You probably know.
86?
Yeah, then this was probably the first one I saw.
I think.
I would have been 7 or 8.
Yeah, 86, 87, 80. Somewhere around there because Khan is 82 and Star Trek 3 is maybe a year or two later, maybe 83 or 84. Mm-hmm. And so then this is maybe 86. I feel like, or unless they were doing them one after another. I'm going to look it up while you talk about it. Go ahead.
I also remember at that time, so my parents went on a business vacation to San Francisco and they came back thereafter and they had 2 different coffee mugs. And then like they liked San Francisco so much. And then the fact that this movie was there, I could see San Francisco. And then my parents were like, oh, yeah, we went down in that area kind of thing. So it hit me on another level. And I loved those coffee mugs as a kid because it just, I don't know, they came alive as opposed to being an inanimate object.
Right.
It's like, that's from that street and, whatnot. Like the Full House street, that might have been on it. But I think it was mostly like the cityscape.
Right.
Just in silhouette on one. And then I can't remember what the other one was. I remember what it was like a cartoon map of the city.
Oh, sweet.
So like little areas had different things on them to,
Right.
This is Haight-Ashbury. This is this, and just like little whatever, breaking it down to a stereotype of that area kind of thing, and that's what it is.
This is
the Chinatown was really offensive. You could see the massage parlor. They had painted that in.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, yee.
Did I ever tell you that story? I've been to a massage parlor in Chinatown.
Please regale me with this story. Please. I want nothing more but to hear this story.
I went up there to do a gig.
Okay.
And the other dude that I'm with,
yeah,
we stayed at this bar. I wasn't drinking at the time, but he was. And he knew the owner, so we stayed, and we stayed a little bit after close, and we were taking a cab back, and he tells the cabbie, detour, take us to a massage parlor. And he's like, you know what I'm talking about? It's 2:30 in the morning. The guy knows exactly what you're talking about. So we go in there, and it's a weird, like, you have to be buzzed in. You go in, and there's a little waiting room, and then there's a hallway, and we go back into the hallways, and they put me into a room, and they're like, all right, strip down, here's your towel. And I'm holding the towel, and it stops from being able to wrap around me within an inch on my waist. So I'm just holding it with my right hand, just kind of like I'm a little teapot, only half of it. I'm not doing the spout part. Just holding it. Like, this is a weird, I didn't anticipate it. I'm not drunk. I was seeing somebody at the time, and suddenly I'm in a massage parlor. It all happened kind of quick. So
as
the lady,
these things tend to do.
Yeah. So the lady comes in, and she's like, hey, lay down and whatnot. And she was giving me a massage, and I was all tense, and she's like, you're not really enjoying this, are you? And I'm like, not really. She's like, you know, are you seeing somebody? And I'm like, yeah, this wasn't what I had planned on doing tonight. So she starts just giving me like a regular massage.
Yeah.
And you can hear in the next room, two voices get loud for like 2 seconds. And then we hear a door open, shut, and then our door opens. The lady says something in a language I don't know.
Yeah.
And my lady just goes, oh, okay. And then shuts the door. And my girl is from San Francisco itself.
Okay.
Right? So perfect English, but she spoke, I think it was Chinese. I do not know.
Okay.
Then door open, shut. She goes back in her room. Loud voices again. Comes back around.
Yeah.
Boom. Same thing happens. Then door shuts. My lady turns to me. She's like, your friend is asking for some weird stuff. Hear a ruckus. Again, this time it lasts like 5 seconds. And then door slams. Our door opens. And then my lady just, after they exchange, my lady goes, you got to put your clothes on. You guys are getting kicked out. And I'm like, oh my God.
What?
And in my head, I'm like, what do you have to say?
Right.
What do you have to say where she's like, no.
I'm not doing the donkey thing.
Yeah, I don't even know. I don't know. You can make up words and it's just be like, oh, that's a thing? I didn't know that was a thing. So he kicked out, and then we just took a cab ride, and we never spoke about it.
What?
Ever again.
He never told you what he asked for?
Nope.
You didn't even ask him?
No, because he went so inside himself that it was like, this is a weird, this is a weird thing.
Dude, we're a weird fucking gender, man.
Yeah.
Certain things trigger us, and like all that repressed shit comes out, and you're just like, and then you're super ashamed about it, and you don't want to talk about it. Like, you shut down completely. You don't tell anybody.
The next night was the opening shows, and the opener was a cool guy. He likes basketball a lot.
Cool.
You know who he is. I can tell you off air.
Oh, okay.
And so I hung out with him. We basically hung out for the next 2 nights afterwards. Just like, hey man, what do you want to do? You're a nice guy. You like basketball. Like, we already have a connection. I like your comedy. You like mine. Like, this is easy. We just, hung out. I still hung out with the other dude, but it was like it was a weird weekend.
I want you to strap this on and do me.
Don't even know. Don't even know. That doesn't even seem so outlandish. That's the thing.
For a massage parlor?
Yeah.
All right, if you say so.
I don't know. It's the only one I've ever been in.
I don't go to
It's the only one I've ever been in.
That ain't my thing. I say this all the time. Like, massage bars, strip clubs, happy ending. I don't have anything to do with hookers. I got no interest in any of that shit. I don't like anything dancing around me that I can't have. Anything that I go into.
Strip clubs never made sense to me. Yeah. I've never gone outside of like 3 bachelor parties.
Yeah, right. Oh, God, yeah. I've never paid for that shit.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, agreed. All right, so anyway, that was your number 6.
That was my 6. So Star Trek, look, if you haven't seen Star Trek, the 4th one, it's a really cool time travel.
Yes.
And I like the simplicity of it, even though it makes no sense. They slingshot around the sun.
Yeah.
And they get to magically go back the specific, well, not specific number. They just need to go back when humpbacks were alive.
Right.
Because they got to get a humpback whale to stop an alien. And somehow, at the end of it, you're like, totally makes sense.
Buy it.
Totally makes sense.
Totally buy it.
And how menacing was that alien ship?
Right.
Just this faceless kind of orb almost comes into your world and is like, we're gonna fuck you up.
And it screams. Like the sound of the whale screams.
It's,
it's unsettling as shit, man.
Yeah.
You're just like, oh God, no. But yeah, this is a fun film that goes back in time, and they Like it was right at this time where Star Trek had become like part of the pop culture.
Yeah.
Shatner,
it established itself beyond.
Right. Beyond just the show, beyond being a fringe sci-fi show. It had really permeated the pop culture. People knew who Shatner was. People knew who Nimoy was. People knew who
across the board, yeah.
So putting them in modern times led to some great like fish out of water comedy.
Yeah.
It totally worked.
Plus, they fleshed out everybody. Everybody had a decent storyline.
Yes.
Which doesn't happen in Star Trek.
No, you're right.
Yeah, where all the crew members, I mean, they all had small little missions for this overall goal, but they managed to find like really good comedy with Scotty and the computer.
Yes.
And trying to figure all that out. And I love when he does the typing. I just got to type, and just like, that's not a problem. And it's faster than any human you've ever seen type in your entire life. But I mean, it's between that and Chekhov and Uhuru on the trying to get a radiation source.
Yeah, on the nuclear vessel. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. But they managed to give everybody a little something to do as opposed to you're just going to collectively wait in the shadows as the story progresses without you.
Yeah. And it's really fun. And Nimoy has some funny moments with that guy on the train. And remember, this is the third part of the trilogy, 2, 3, and 4, because Nimoy is still, or Spock is still kind of getting his bearings back from having been reborn in 3. So he still has these moments where he's not 100% himself, which they played really well. I mean, that whole cloth terry robe thing and then the bandana around his head that is the
very
robe.
80s still.
It's just, yes, very 80s.
Very 80s.
And there's a lot of sweet. I can't remember who the actress is. I know she was in Major Dad. She played the wife in Major Dad.
Wow, really?
But that's her. That's the one who is their love interest in the movie. And it's really sweet. The whales and all that stuff. And then you have that great, because like I said, it's the end of the trilogy. You have that great moment when Spock sees his father again, which he hasn't seen since the second movie. And he sees him, and they have a great interaction there, and everyone gets forgiven for everything that happened. And they should have stopped there and not done 5. 6 is good. I like 6, but 5 was a piece of shit.
Look, everybody knows it's all about the evens.
That's right. Evens. 2, 4, and 6, exactly.
I will never forget the first time you pompously said that, as if that is as known as the Star Spangled Banner.
I feel like it is.
Everybody knows.
Amongst the Star Wars fans, or Star Trek fans.
Exactly. It was just like, it took me a second to think of it. I was like, oh, yeah, you're right. I never thought about it, but it's just like this offhanded. You didn't even make eye contact with me because there was no need. Like, the conversation was over.
No. Everyone knows. All right. All right. So my number 7, and it's probably a punt, knowing you. Or maybe not. I don't know. You're crazy this way. Groundhog Day.
It's your what?
My number 7.
Okay, that is a slight.
Okay.
Slight baby.
All right. Then my number 6 is X-Men Days of Future Past.
Not on my list.
Wow, really? Okay. I love this movie, man. I did not like First Class because of January Jones and some other things in the film that I didn't really enjoy.
Parts of First Class.
You did? Okay.
I loved like the bond between Magneto and Xavier, and the like, especially from Magneto. He has like against the Nazis in Brazil or wherever that is.
Yeah.
That is awesome. And then he moves the damn satellite. That is like, these got a few parts where I was like, oh my God, this is Magneto. And then Xavier, like the back and forth between the two of them, I thought was dynamite. But I can give 2 shits about the kids.
Yeah. I really
2 shits.
And that's the whole point of the damn movie is the kids. And so it was super frustrating for me not to enjoy it because everyone said how great it was. And I sat in the theater, I was like, am I missing something? And then I went back and saw it again because I couldn't believe that so many people I know enjoyed it. And I'm back like, no, I ain't missing anything. It's just not connecting with me.
Yeah. I like what I like about it a lot.
Yeah.
And then the rest I could take or leave.
Yeah, there you go.
And mostly, actually, just be honest, leave. You don't care. Yeah. Zoe Kravitz's winged character, I don't care. Anyway, your movie.
Yeah, no. But like, so coming into Days of Future Past, I wasn't sure how I feel about this. And of course, they kind of messed around with some of what happens in the comics because it's a different, I think it's Rogue that goes back. It isn't Logan or Wolverine that goes back.
Sure.
So the whole thing. And so to me, I wasn't sure what to expect. And I thoroughly enjoyed it because they brought back Patrick Stewart. They brought back Ian McKellen to play Magneto and Professor X, and then still had the James McAvoy thing and still had Fassbender there. Still had the Jennifer Lawrence storyline about which side she's going to go. You have, what's his name, as Bolivar Trask. What's his Peter Dinklage as Bolivar Trask.
Yeah.
You have
couldn't remember the character's name, but I was like, are you thinking of Dinklage? Who are you talking about here?
Dinklage.
Are you trying to come up with the Beast? I can't remember that kid's name.
Nicholas
Warm
Holt.
Body.
Nicholas Holt. Yeah. And then Nixon again, which was weird when you come out of Watchmen, who's all Nixon. You see Nixon again in X-Men Days of Future Past. And it was just really great. And then you see the early Stryker. So,
the stadium scene.
Yeah,
so
man.
badass.
That was great.
To levitate that and then just create an instant barrier around your battle. Oh, what a great, like, that's what a comic book movie can do. Create a set piece that is impossible.
Yeah.
And so long as he's not now throwing that to take out the moon or something.
Right.
It's just like, all right, there's got to be some sort of limitation.
Yeah. And the way they have the Sentinels, but also just the story of it, because I've never seen Professor X have a crisis of confidence, right? He's not sure if he can do it, and Wolverine has to shake him out of it. Wolverine's dealing with his own shit because he's traveling through time to try to figure this thing out. So, there are moments where he like snaps out of it and he forgets where he's at, and you see him flip out and have those moments, and it's really great. And the Jennifer Lawrence stuff, actually, I think this is the last best time she was Mystique, in my opinion. I didn't like the third movie, obviously, Vengeance or whatever it is, the one that was the Apocalypse or whatever.
Yeah, no, that was Apocalypse.
It was
that
terrible.
Was terrible.
Yeah, it was terrible. And so I don't know what she's going to be like in Dark Phoenix. We'll see. But I thought she was fantastic in this.
Yeah,
and more so than First Class. So
I loved in this. So that bullet that manages to make practically a 90-degree turn to what is it? Shoot her through the calf.
Yeah.
It's just like I didn't know bullets could do that. Is Magneto moving that bullet? What's going on with that? I don't get it. There's a couple moments in that movie, like so Hugh Jackman is what year is this? Mid-60s?
70s.
70s actually 70s, with Nixon. Yeah. So he still looks like the same mid-40s HGH Australian guy. Dude, he's on something. He is on something.
I will never accuse him of that.
It's perfectly legal.
That's true.
Whatever he's on, I'm sure he's not taking a bunch of illegal stuff.
Stallone did, but yeah,
you don't get that kind of vascularity just by cutting out carbs. He's got veins popping on top of veins in areas, but it's not like the musculature is so roided out that it's blatantly obvious. He's put in the time, but there is some pharmaceutical help somewhere in that mix. Has to be.
Dude, how'd you get them veins? I stopped eating bread.
Yeah, just cut out all bread, bro. It's all chicken breast. That's all I have. All chicken breasts.
Brilliant.
You can't.
Yeah.
You can't. Just watching that, the first time he gets out and you see his ass, but he's got the way the light is over his back, and there's veins in a back that you just don't see in a normal human being.
He's in incredible shape.
He is. Phenomenal shape.
Yeah. But all of it, just a lot of fun. And then, of course, he gets the whole X-Men back, right? Because you get Storm, you get Famke Janssen comes back as Jean Grey, and James Marsden as Cyclops. So it's so great that they took the bullshit that was X-Men, that was the fucking Last Stand that Brett Ratner did, and they retconned the whole fucking thing and put it back in motion, which was great for the canon. So, all right, that was my 6. So what's your number 5?
5 is the punt, Groundhog Day.
Okay, great. Oh!
Not far.
No.
Not far.
I wanted to put it higher, but I think these other films just have more quality, but I love Groundhog Day to fucking pieces, man.
See, for me, the rewatchability of it is so high.
I can't fault you, man.
That it's just like, hey, man, if we're talking time travel, I can watch that at any point.
Yeah.
And now I love that, like, I know that Michael Shannon is in it.
Yes.
He's the over-amped.
So weird.
He gets the wrestling tickets.
Yes.
No way. Just like, wow, man. That is totally not what you ended up getting cast as, doing all these amazing roles thereafter. And I was this brooding individual,
right?
That's prone to rage.
So you do have this gear,
Just pure likability, over the top exuberance, just excited.
That's what I liked about him in The Night Before, playing that drug dealer, because it was like he could go back to that kind of comedic moments. He was really funny in that.
Yeah, him. Was it Tobolowsky?
Yes, Stephen Tobolowsky, who plays the insurance guy.
Needle-Nose Ned.
Yeah.
And just the idea that you're reliving the same day over and over again, and he's tried to kill himself all these different ways, and eventually decides, because he goes through gaming the system.
Yeah.
And what's the point of that ultimately? What does that get me? So then he tries to kill himself, and then he comes out the other side of that. Well, I can't do that. So I'm trying to better myself,
right?
Better the world around me, and it's him changing breaking himself down to his core to rebuild himself into something, and that buys him the good graces to get back into regular life thereafter.
Yep.
And the transformation of the character seems very honest.
Yeah.
He goes from asshole to likable, but he's got to go over this arc that, like, you had to do some soul searching.
Some of the best Bill Murray movies are that, right? Like Scrooged, same kind of thing, to a degree, lost in translation. He's great at going on these arcs, right? Where he's in a certain place at the beginning that you may not be that likable, but eventually as he goes through the journey, it's a very human journey, and you go along with it. It's the surprising gift that Murray has, man, especially in this movie. This could be a throwaway comedy, but there's something really earnest in his initial approach to it, because he's angry about it. Then his decision, like you just said, to be killing himself, like that's his way of protesting the whole situation. But by the end, he's like, no, I'm supposed to learn something here. And as he progressively learns, he helps out all these other people in town, because he finally understands the power that he could wield in the world, rather than being a sarcastic, snide shithead or cocky shithead or princess.
Exactly, or giving up, like a child.
Yes.
Instead, actually trying to go out and better the world around you.
Right.
And I love also the fact that him and Ramus were not on speaking terms. And this killed their friendship until his deathbed, in essence. At least that's what the story is. Yeah. And you're like, wow, and they still got... So at the beginning, when he was pissed off to be in Punxsutawney, whatever it is, that might have been honest.
Oh, yeah.
Just pissed off. And
people say he's a prickly guy.
That's why I think it's so effective, because the heart that those eyes can convey.
Yes.
And the passion and the emotion, to see it cold and distant.
Yeah.
And know that to you, its more natural place is in this lighthearted, who doesn't love Bill Murray?
Right.
And to see it just utterly stripped away, and you're like, oh man, that's brutal.
And I love the juxtaposition with Chris Elliott, who is like constantly getting worse and worse in every iteration. It's just so when they have to auction off, he's like auction off for a quarter or something like that. It's so sad. I just think it's brilliant. But once again, it's because he stayed a certain way instead of learning. He's still trying to manipulate the game rather than being
but he didn't
himself.
know that he was reliving the same day.
Of course not.
That's the unfortunate reality of everybody else in it. Only Bill Murray is aware that their lives are meaningless.
I miss these kind of comedies, don't you, Matt? Like these small town comedies that like by the end you like really get to know these great character actors who are playing these characters in these comedies. Like we don't get them anymore in the same way that we did in the past. Like I don't know if that kind of comedy is dead. Like we don't have those kind of vibes anymore because we're also interconnected with the internet and stuff. I don't know.
No, because you still see it crop up every once again. You're right. Like first thing I thought of was like Doc Holliday.
Yeah.
Or Hollywood, rather.
Doc Hollywood, yeah.
And then, but like State and Maine is a more... State Maine. It's a small, but it's a more like a Nashvilleian type of cast where there's a ton of different people.
Right.
I still think you could do it. I'm trying to think of something more recent in the past, like 10 years ago, though.
I can't.
Yeah, that's an interesting... Why doesn't that? Because the budget is cheap on those.
Yeah,
so as long as you get enough good actors, you can tell an engaging story. There's got to be one we're missing, just blatantly obvious.
I guess. I don't think so, but maybe. I just don't know. I just don't think anything comes to mind because it's such a unique comedy for that time. You know, no one's on their cell phone. No one's on like he has to dial up. Remember, he has to dial up. It takes him forever to dial up at that bed and breakfast where he's staying at. So it's just like those kinds of things. And the romance with Andie MacDowell is really believable. It's the best role she's ever played, in my opinion. Like it's the best she's ever done. I know people love 4 Weddings and a Funeral, but I will always put this one higher up. She's more natural.
I think you're right. It's tough to think of something that would overshadow this for me.
Yeah,
I'm not pulling anything.
There you go. Well, that was your number 5.
That was my number 5.
So do we go to me?
Yep.
My number 5 is 12 Monkeys.
Didn't make my list.
What?
I rewatched it for the show.
And you just didn't like it?
Mm-mm. I didn't like it when it came out.
Oh, it's just one of these ones you don't like?
Yeah, and then I was like, you know what? What am I... Because it came out when I was like 17.
Yeah.
So that's also like could be just a flaw in my intelligence and movie knowledge and all that stuff. And who knows?
Maybe you just don't like it.
So I rewatched it for the show and it's just like, yeah, this one's not for me.
Wow.
I mean, I get it. I get the beats of why it'd be addictive and interesting and whatnot, but it just didn't capture me that way.
That's interesting, man. Yeah. No, it's one that always kind of hits me because of it's such a unique performance by Bruce Willis, which you don't get a lot of unique performances from him. He does a great job. I know you can take or leave Pitts, what he's doing, the kind of outlandish stuff that he's doing, but I like the chemistry between Willis and God, it's so much trouble. I'm in so much. Madeline Stowe.
Yeah, I was about to say it's an Andie MacDowell type.
Jesus Christ, it's in there. It's all in there. I just got to remove the fog.
That's I think where some of the casting, if they recast her.
Oh, you didn't like her?
I didn't think there was much dynamism between her and Willis.
How interesting! Wow.
Yeah.
And I feel completely opposite. I love their chemistry, and
she was good in it. I didn't buy them growing together as quickly as like she pieces together a couple things.
Yeah.
I get why that would, the boy in the barn and then the bullet.
Yes.
But yeah, just I wanted to, but
all right. But I like the film, and because it's taking him back to that, like what's the reason, and you get caught up as you watch, like what's happening, what year are we in, why is it snowing, why is it not snowing, why are we back in this airport, why is all this stuff happening? So I enjoy that aspect of it, and as he's trying to figure it out, and he kind of gravitates to these kinds of movies. He has that with Fifth Element, where he's trying to figure out what the hell is happening the whole time. He has that with Surrogates, which was that weird little sci-fi film where he doesn't
never saw it. I remember
really?
That came out, yeah.
Yeah, it's not great, but it's a good watch, and he's trying to figure out, is he real or is he an android or a robot or whatever it is, and all this kind of stuff. So he gravitates to these kind of sci-fi films. So I think this was the best one. Obviously, it's Terry Gilliam. It's really enjoyable for me, so that's why it's number 5. All right.
Yeah.
So what's your number 4?
I didn't get the scientists.
Yeah?
Underneath.
Okay.
Like their entire portrayal is just like, I don't believe that you guys would be.
You're too smart for the film.
Able. I'm not saying I'm too smart. I just like reading into it is like they fit the aesthetic of what he was going for. But the problem is within the context of the role, it didn't make sense because they're sending these people back like indeterminate amount of times. But I don't believe that they'd be capable of figuring out how to do time travel the way they're talking to him and the machine to interact and like it's all these weird barriers they're putting between it. I don't get it. But,
okay, fair. All right, what's your number 4?
My number 4 is another punt.
Oh,
Interstellar.
Okay. Wow, that high on your list.
I just love that movie.
You do, man. You do. You've talked about it. Yeah.
Once it gets off of Earth, which I like that storyline, but once it actually gets into space and they go down that progression, I think it is just pitch perfect for me.
Yeah.
The visuals, the acting, the story, the music, the composition of the music, it to me is. I mean, it's absolutely mesmerizing. Just in that they went to this huge pipe organ in Great Britain. And they actually had the guy that plays it every day. He is the one that records it.
Wow.
I know they beefed it up, and the composer was there. Is this a Zimmer?
Yeah, Hans Zimmer, yeah.
Yeah, so he was there, but the guy himself was playing it Zimmer was still composing, but I always thought for some reason, because of the fact that it was this huge, grandiose machine, maybe he sat down to do it this once. But I've watched a video of him just going to town and creating what I thought was beefed up digitally in a lot of parts of it.
Right.
And it is just this amazing machine, and this guy just crushing. Wow. It is so impressive to watch. Like, I would love to go and just sit in that little small chapel and listen to him play the album.
Okay.
I'd pay money for that, no problem. Whatever you're charging, $150,
right.
I'd pay that. Maybe even $200. I'm sure, but given the few number of seats, it probably ends up being more expensive than that. So you might price me out pretty quick. But everything to me. So the time travel with this is from a fourth dimension where you're above, where our current state is.
Yeah.
And it goes back to manipulate time, which is theoretically possible. You could get to a superposition above where we're at now and see time for what it is. Just another, it's one of the dimensions that you can manipulate like you can all others. And that to me, like they bring that up all the time, the theoretical nature of it, and you can prove it through certain variations, but at the same time, like theoretically, sure.
Yeah.
But to actually see it manifest before your eyes and to do it like this, where you have to go through a black hole and that somehow sends you out of our dimensional realm and takes you to that superposition to where then you could go back and alter time. And the way that was an actual set they built. Yeah. All those flying past bookshelves, but just looked like streams of yarn going past.
So interesting, man.
So crazy interesting. Yeah. Just everything about that movie just had me captivated. From the moment I saw it, I was like, I love this thing. Yeah,
initially it didn't get like the best reviews. It got good reviews, but it didn't have great reviews. And it's a Nolan film, so I think people walk in with expectation. It's a long film. It's 2.5 hours.
It is.
2:40. And I was mesmerized the whole time. From the beginning, all the stuff. Because I've said this many times, Matt's a science guy on the show. I don't get any, but the fact that they were able to explain it in a way that I understood the difference in time when they're going down to the planet versus coming back up to the ship.
It's a great way to show how gravity can have an effect on time.
Exactly. And to me, I'm like, oh, this is what they were talking about in school. Holy shit. This is what this means.
When you
brilliant.
Can actually amplify it and you can see the effect that dramatically, there is a planet out there somewhere within the universe somewhere that has that combination.
Yeah.
of it's this close to a black hole, and because of that, time is slowed down to this nth degree, and you're like, oh my God.
And the humanity of the characters too, Matt. Like the whole thing going on with he's doing this to try to save the planet so he could save his daughter and all this kind of stuff. You have Michael Caine down who's trying to navigate all that down on Earth. You have, of course, later on Jessica Chastain, but also Casey Affleck. But then also with Hathaway. Hathaway is really good in this movie, man.
Yeah.
Those when they come back onto the ship and she is talking about what they need to do and she is having a breakdown because it's just so powerful and so believable, and she never like becomes weak or anything like that. She's just so smart and intelligent, and you buy it. So that when the stuff happens with Matt Damon, it's even more of a kick in the face. You're just like, holy shit.
Matt Damon, great casting.
Great villain.
Great casting.
Yeah, man.
And then the robot.
Oh, yeah.
Voiced by that improv actor.
Yeah,
I don't know
Bill
his name.
Irwin. Bill Irwin.
Okay.
Yep.
Just one of those weird Bobby McFarlane type guys.
Yeah.
It just seems to pop up. Just like, wow, that is such an interesting. He's in what? My Blue Heaven?
Yes.
He's one of the FBI agents.
Yeah, he's an interesting cat, man.
Yeah. He's in the Don't Worry video.
Yes.
But he's been in a bunch of other just random, like, he's always good.
Yeah.
But yeah, as the voice of the robot, and they have the sarcasm, they can take it up or down, the humor in it. Let's dial that down 10%.
And it's such a weird design for a robot, right? These two like long blocks.
Yeah, but then it can turn into the multi-leg to go faster.
Yeah, man.
That's great.
It's wicked. There's a lot of thought going into this movie. So,
Tons.
And that's what I enjoy. And people bitch about the ending, but I like the ending. Yes, it was all about love. It was about showing his daughter that he loved her and wanted her to know, and his way of communicating with her. When you're fucking with time, it's no difference 2001. No difference in 2001 when he goes through that fucking black hole. He isn't messing with time. And so to me, with space, listen.
Go ahead.
5% of the fucking world's population maybe can understand what the fuck is happening in that movie. Like in terms of when messing around with the dimensional stuff, like maybe 1 or 2% maybe can understand. So people who are watching this movie trying to criticize the ending, I'm like, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Well, it's so above your pay grade mentally. Get out of here.
But the thing is, like, some of it is pure, utter speculation.
Yeah,
like
sure.
in a black hole.
But from an educated place.
Yeah, exactly. Like, we have no idea.
Yeah.
Literally no idea.
Yeah.
Because nothing escapes the event horizon of a black hole. And you start thinking of like just the random tidbits throughout the universe. There's a million things like that. Yeah. Where it's just like, if you take a tablespoon of a neutron star.
Oh yeah,
that weighs more than I don't know how many millions of times than the sun or something ridiculous, and you're like, wow, I don't even understand that. Like your brain can't wrap itself around with the fact that Jupiter doesn't have any kind of planetary object as we'd understand it. Ultimately, like the gas compresses and whatnot, I think it turns icy, but there is no Earth-like underneath. It just gas and vapor and stuff, but there's so much of it that the gravitational force holds it together.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
But that doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, no. You just gave me a great idea for a movie in the future.
Okay,
where Jupiter
perfect.
blows up and throws a whole solar system out of whack. What the fuck happens?
Yeah, I believe that's what it is. It's just like it's not a hard rocky surface. It's just like this collection. Eventually, gets low. The sun's light can't penetrate anymore, so the temperature drops lower and lower and lower, and then density and compression and gravitational force, and it just coalesces into I don't know. Like an icy ball or something?
I guess so.
Something like that.
It's a planetoid.
No fucking clue.
Yeah,
but the fact that Interstellar could bring to life like a wormhole.
Yep.
And they said that within the movie, they had to actually strip away some of the things that we think it actually looks like because it would look too unbelievable.
Right.
And that already looked
exciting.
unbelievable. It looked like a soap bubble with like floating on the surface of water.
Right.
You could see like the opposite reflection on the inside of it.
Yep.
Just ridiculous.
It's so cool. All right, what's your number 4?
That was my number 4.
So then my number 4 is Looper.
That is called a punt.
Wow.
That is called a punt.
What's your number 3?
My number 3 is Terminator.
Okay.
Didn't make your list?
I left it off my list, and I'll tell because we talked about it last week. So I wanted to give time to other movies.
Well, I'm talking about the first Terminator.
Yeah, I totally respect you bringing any of the Terminator. I just left them off because we've talked about them and blah, blah. So I respect you having it on your list.
I left T2 off.
You did. And I texted Matt. I said, I think we should leave it off our list. And Matt, very funny, texted me, don't you tell me what to do with my list. It was very funny.
Yeah, but I already had in my head, it was like, well, we're going to talk time travel movies. Within this franchise, this introduced the concept and cemented the path of, they've made one amazing movie thereafter, and then hopefully they get it right this time.
We'll see.
I still believe, though, that's how good these first 2 movies are, that you could do it. Like, I want it to be good.
Yeah.
And I don't mind that they keep trying.
That's why you people drive me insane, man. It's done. It's over.
It's not.
Schwarzenegger is 95 years old. He has no business being a Terminator.
I don't know how Schwarzenegger is coming back. It doesn't make sense to me.
Even if they de-age him, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. The Linda Hamilton, sure.
I'm cool with Linda Hamilton.
Yeah, and whatever else they want to do. The Schwarzenegger is going to be tough. I didn't mind it in the last one they made him like a robot that had been here the entire time.
Yeah.
So he aged because he couldn't replace his skin, and it ages like regular skin. I was like, you know what?
Sure.
Fair enough. You found a way to get Arnie into this more believably, as opposed to like T3, and you can clearly tell that he's 10 years older than he was in T2. You're like,
Christiana is carrying all those fucking fights. That poor girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know how they're going to do it, but I still believe because this first one created just a very simple idea of sending a killer robot back from the future to kill just one woman because she's going to birth the eventual leader of the resistance. Why you wouldn't just go back and take out, I guess, John Connor? Maybe because she could have another and then would know he was there, so she was perhaps predetermined to be able to do this?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, you have to send Michael Biehn back because he becomes the father of John Connor. So if they don't send the Terminator back, they can't send Michael Biehn back. Therefore, John Connor can't be born. Therefore, there can be no resistance. Therefore, there can be no law. And it's really it's too many levels for me. So there it is. That's as far as I'll go. That's as far as I'll go in logic.
Chicken or egg.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is great about time travel movies.
It's true.
Because certain things crop up and you're like, well, just because you had this knowledge, does that mean then, does X imply Y?
Right.
I like that about time travel because sometimes you're just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
The same thing with Interstellar. We got the knowledge to do it because we had the knowledge, like we stumbled into the knowledge to do it, so that gave us the certainty to do. But that comes up within time travel.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Well, this film still holds up. We did it on the Cinephiles a few months ago.
I don't know why I pointed at you. It's my damn movie.
Sorry.
I did. I stumbled. My brain stopped, and I just pointed at you. I was like, you take it for a second.
Take it, Roga. No, we did this, like I said, a few weeks ago on the Cinephiles. My friend Shannon came on because he used to play John Connor at Universal Studios for 20 years in Florida and here in LA before they closed it because they don't have the show anymore at the Universal Studios now. But so he was uniquely involved in this situation. And so I went back and rewatched it. That film still holds up. It is still good. It's a good action film. Yes, it's an 80s, so you get all the hair and the scooter and all that jazz and the answering machine. But the violence of the film is powerful. James Cameron does not shirk on the violence in the movie, and you feel every one of those deaths. You feel the horror of it all. And even the kind of crappy CG, I don't know, special effects from that time.
Yeah, the stop motion.
It's still unsettling to see an
and it's still, look, for the time.
Terminator do that, yeah.
That was really good for the time.
Yeah.
And on the budget they did it. Because I don't think he wanted to direct this.
Yeah.
Somebody was going to buy it, but they weren't going to let him direct, and he held on to it and managed to do it all through him. He put this whole thing together. It was his script.
Right.
He'd been working, what was it? Is it like a second director?
Yeah.
Or an AD or something? Yeah. I can't remember, but doing a bunch of projects and no, this is mine. This is mine. And to actually pull this off and to cement such a movie that is part of the lexicon within numerous genres. We got sci-fi and you've got action. Yeah. You got time travel. You got our future robot overlords coming back to take us down. There's another one of John's fears. You got a few, my friend.
Yeah, dude.
You got a few.
Two big ones, but yes, I've got a few. That's the two big ones. Simeon and the fucking robot overlords. And people keep sending me stuff on Twitter they get a kick out of scaring the shit out of me when I see stuff. Like when I see the dog, oh, fuck all that, man. The new one with the dog things opening the doorknob, and I'm just like, nope. Nope.
I thought you were talking about, I read an article where some scientists actually successfully created an embryo that had sheep and human DNA.
Shut the fuck up.
They terminated it after 4 weeks after they knew it was taking, and they canceled it there, and their hope is to eventually grow human organs within sheep and use that to harvest to give to people. But they managed to successfully do something that nature has outright stopped.
Not for lack of trying in some fucking towns.
No,
fucking sheep, those crazy men. Ugh, stop it! Science, fuck science, man. Honestly, sometimes fuck science. Not all the time, but sometimes.
You got to push the boundaries.
You have to push the boundaries. You don't have to.
You really do.
Come on.
You think we're making a podcast right now if somebody hadn't taken a bunch of chances they shouldn't have?
Sure, but they weren't harvesting human organs in a sheep to get us to be able to talk about this stuff.
Yeah.
Because you're creating life to sustain other life. So you're going to kill that life to keep your life going? Your species life? That's unfair. I just feel like that's unfair.
Please, are you telling me that when we first invented electricity, we weren't shocking animals to test how much voltage it took to kill people?
Yes, we were.
And then shocked every variety of animal?
I'm sure we did.
Yeah, I'm sure we did. And that's just electricity. That's the first thing I thought of.
Right, it's true.
Like, technology comes, we figure out the worst application before we figure out the best.
Yeah, well, that's why I talk about Planet of the Apes, because it's the reverse. The humans being tested on. Yeah, like the lobotomy in that movie for those humans. That's right.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead. Keep going with your movie. Did we talk about it?
Terminator? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. What do you got at 3?
Arrival.
I had trouble
Yeah, let's talk about it.
calling it time travel in my head.
It is.
Mentally, she does.
Yes. Because.
But does that mentally, like, she sees time
Yes.
for what it is.
She has the gift. She gets the gift of being able to see time. And,
True.
And so she does things in a certain way because she knows what the result is supposed to be in order to keep the time linear or in motion.
Well, it seems as though she's projecting when she gets the number later on.
Mm-hmm.
If that's what you're saying, then
Yeah.
she's projecting the we win outcome.
Yes.
And needs, like, is at a gala dinner and whatever else.
Right. Gets that number from that
Sure.
prime
This
minister,
is what,
Asian
like
prime minister.
before with time travel, sometimes
Yeah.
certain things happen because they're going to happen, just like in Interstellar. Like,
Yeah.
We got the knowledge because we got the knowledge.
Right.
But for me, it was just such a psychological thing that it wasn't the actual movement of.
Okay.
But you're not wrong.
Yeah, she's existing through time.
She
You know what I'm
is.
saying?
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
And I think it's for me, that's why I qualify. And because it's such a great damn movie, dude. I bought it.
Oh, it's heartbreaking.
I bought it, over Thanksgiving, and I've watched it a couple times now. It's such a fucking good movie, and she's great in that movie. And so I wanted to give it because it isn't just about communicating with aliens. It's about when the twist happens about the time stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You're just like, holy shit! And I love it because there's stakes here.
Yeah.
And she's telling you the thing from the future while you're watching the past, and she already knew what was going to happen in the future while you're living the past in the movie, and that's fascinating to me.
Oh, the way they pulled that off.
Yeah.
Because you're not understanding. You're trying to guess in these non-linear timelines,
Yeah.
and then once you begin to piece it together, your heart starts to immediately break.
Yep.
Before it just like torn apart.
Yep.
And then you start asking questions of yourself of, would I make that decision?
Right.
What is the best decision? That's an impossible thing to ask yourself. And then you understand, like, why Jeremy Renner's character does what he does.
Right.
And why she makes the choice that she does.
Yeah.
And you don't have to see what tears them apart because you understand it.
Well, I think that's what infuriates people about the movie is they don't like that she had all the cards and played them a certain way. But like, I think if this had been a male lead, people wouldn't have such a fucking problem with it because we've seen it many, many times.
I think
but I didn't have an issue with it because she's a powerful actress. She's a great performance, and she's a person you understand instinctively is a intelligent. Is like a thinker. She's an intelligent person, so she knew all the risks that she was taking, and I think sometimes that unsettles people when they see someone who can overpower emotion with thought, and because they see the bigger picture. And sacrifices have to be made. And so I didn't have an issue with it.
I mean, she made a choice.
Yeah.
And you could say that by shielding him from that reality, he at least got to enjoy some time.
Yes.
And he got to experience just unadulterated love.
Yep. Even though she knew it was going to end.
Yes.
Yeah.
The other choice is from the outset, look, I have to explain. Or perhaps right before they're, maybe they get married and then she tells. Or tells before. Like it's a choice.
Yeah.
Her character made a choice and she didn't want to rob him of the experience until eventually it was like, I have to tell you something.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just, I've kept this from you and trust me, I felt terrible, but I wanted you to have this.
Yeah.
And you don't need to see any of it.
Nope.
Really. That's the best part.
That's what I love about it, man.
Yeah.
It's
you
really,
fill in all the gaps.
Exactly. So, I mean, we've talked about it many times on the show. Denis Villeneuve is a top 10 favorite director, like of the show. The top 10 show endorses Denis Villeneuve. So there we go. All right. What's your number 2?
My number 2 is Looper.
Okay. God, such a damn good movie, dude.
Yeah.
It still stays with me. I've seen it 3 times. Still stays with me, man. It's for so many reasons.
I watched it like a year ago, just out of nowhere. I was like, I want to watch Looper.
Yeah.
Because I like the first half of it, and I like the second half because the kid is so amazing in it. And I haven't really seen him much since. Mm-hmm. Like, I looked for him. I was like, man, that kid's got to get more work because he was so impressive throughout this entire thing.
Scary as fuck, man.
Exactly. I can't imagine how much coaching it takes to get a kid that, like, business-like. Mm-hmm. Or is it just, like, he's just manages to be good at this kind of thing?
That's who should have been Anakin. That's who should have been Anakin.
Possibly.
I'd have bought Anakin or Darth Vader from that kid. That's for damn sure. And Emily Blunt's great. Bruce Willis is fantastic. And Joseph Gordon-Levitt does a great Bruce Willis impersonation.
And Paul Dano plays Paul Dano.
Oh, yeah, Dano.
But he's great. Like, I understand when people fault the movie, like, the way they catch, I won't say which character it is.
Yeah.
They catch him in his loop and how, like, pieces start falling off of him and stuff like that.
Yeah.
How, if he has already experienced this, how he doesn't know that he's experiencing. Kind of like disconnect between the two.
Right.
Like, yeah, I understand what you're saying. And perhaps.
Yeah.
Like, for whatever reason, that didn't logically, like, throw a red flag up. Like, that doesn't make sense. It was kind of enjoyable because you're showing the boundaries of what the world they're trying to establish.
Yeah.
And so I like that as a way to show me as opposed to telling me.
Yep.
And it was a simple way to do it. So I enjoyed it from a storytelling aspect because sometimes you got to make concessions. This is a ridiculous situation that they're putting up.
Yeah.
I also like Jeff Daniels as the Heavy.
He's so good as the Heavy, man.
Yeah.
He's such a master actor.
Really is.
I mean, Dumb and Dumber to, like, fucking Newsroom to...
Oh, Looming Tower now?
Yeah, Looming Tower, right.
And there was that Western show he was on. It was on Netflix.
Oh, yes. That's right.
I liked him in it. That was about it.
Mm-hmm. Godless.
Godless.
Yeah.
Not sure if I'll go back for a second season on that one.
Really?
Don't think so.
Okay. All right.
I liked the first season. He was excellent.
Yeah.
I wasn't connected to the storyline.
I just started Counterpart.
Oh, I like that.
I've been enjoying the fuck out of that, man.
Yeah, I'm up to a week ago. I still got this upcoming week, but I'm up to a week ago.
I had a feeling you'd dig it. That's why I mentioned it, man. I wondered if you'd started it. I watched the first 2 episodes last night. And I'm like, oh, I'm hooked.
There's one coming out at the end of the month on AMC called, I think it's AMC, but Terror.
Yes.
I just heard about that, and I was like, I might be checking that. That hits me in a lot of sweet spots.
That's a top 10. That's a top 10 approved
Did you hear
show.
them talk about bringing Master and Commander back?
What?
Yeah.
As a movie or as a TV series?
As a movie.
With Russell or somebody else?
I believe so.
Holy shit.
But all I know for a fact I heard Master and Commanders, they're trying to bring that back, and like a legitimate, not the... I've heard they're trying to bring back, Deadwood now.
Right.
3 times.
Right.
And this last one, everybody's like, well, but it never percolated any further than that. There was like, HBO was like, we want to do something.
Yeah.
We want to get it on the books, but there's no set deadline or anything yet.
Well, Haley Fouch from Collider, she got to see all the episodes of Terror. Because she has... Oh, yeah? Yeah, because she reviews these stuff, and so the studio send them ahead of time. She said it's excellent.
Can't wait.
And I was like, thank you, Jesus, that she liked it, because then I'm like, okay, this is making me feel like I could enjoy this fucking film. Yeah. Kieran Hines, and it's in the ice, and it's set, They're
going for the Northwest Passage.
Yeah,
it's like 2 British, I'm guessing they're RMS.
Yeah. Jared Harris is in this shit. Like, I can't wait to see this, man.
Just all over. As soon as I saw the cast, I saw... Because somebody's like, hey, you should check out the show Terror. So I just Googled it. It came up, and they had a picture of the 4 main cast.
Yeah.
The first 2, I was like, I'm in.
I mean, yeah,
They're in their period garb, just in these weird, they almost look like tintypes.
Yeah.
But they're not quite. And I was like, yeah, I'm in. I like it already.
There's the horror aspect to it.
Yeah, finger crossed, it's good.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, yeah, so, wait, what were we talking about?
Looper.
Yeah.
So they constructed a really... interesting world. Like you could question as to whether or not it's the most efficient way to take out a looper.
Sure.
It seems kind of ridiculous on some level, especially because it
seems dramatic.
How do you not? Yeah, it does. It's a much better way to put it.
Yeah.
How do you not foresee this happening?
Yeah.
Just why wouldn't you send anybody else? Because you send the orders back and you tell literally anybody else.
Yeah.
So if you set that aside. You take out that one major flaw within it, it's a really interesting action-filled, but not over-the-top action. I like the motorcycle-esque a thing that they have that kind of just hovers around, and the fun they have within the cornfields with that.
Yeah.
And just the amount of terror that you can create just on a farm. Ultimately, all this technology and all these people with telekinesis, but it just ends up in this small little farmhouse.
Plus, it's the question: do you kill Hitler as a child before he becomes Hitler,
or do you
not?
Now knowing what you know, or does that then set in place the motion of him becoming that crime lord?
Or the third option: do you give that child that's going to become Hitler the love and affection that it obviously was missing as a child, so in an effort to hopefully circumvent that happening? And so it's such a great philosophical movie about what you would do, mixed in with this insane sci-fi and the time travel shit, and then this like superpowers that the kid has you're like, holy shit.
When they go to that what is it? Is it a phone call across time? Like, what is it where the guy is in like the hospital or something?
Yeah.
You just see in the background, everything is getting torn out. Such a gorgeous scene, and it just cuts. And you're like, I know what happened to that guy. And the other 50 people there that, fuck it, you're collateral damage.
Yep.
How powerful is this? Like, you might have to take out Hitler.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You might have to take out Hitler.
Right?
It sucks to take out a little kid, but if he has that kind of ability, then he is God.
But his mom fights Bruce Willis.
How can you not?
Yeah, initially fights him because he wants to get, but then she kind of gets him on his side to see, like, this is my child, this could happen, this is going because of, and then when what happens to her and all this, you're like, oh fuck, dude. It's just such a great mind fuck through the whole movie that you just can't help but enjoy it, in my opinion. And the special effects of the kid's power is like in the cornfield when he's you're just
who is it that shows up
to kill
search the house? Shit.
He's on that. He was on that show with Martha Plimpton, the Fox show, and he's in.
It's Garrett Dillahunt.
Yes, Garrett Dillahunt. Yes, it is.
Because he's on Deadwood. He played two characters on two separate seasons.
That's right.
It took me a second. I was like, what? I was literally scanning up his body. I was like, okay, he was tall and he was lanky. I remember he had long arms. He had the suit on. Then when you got to the Fox show, I was like, oh yeah. Anyway, when he like freezes time almost. Just stops everybody in their tracks. And you see how his raw power at this juvenile age. Yeah. Like, oh my God.
Yeah, it's scary as shit.
It is.
All right, that was your number 3?
That was my number 2.
So my number 2 is Edge of Tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah. You're not on your list.
No, it was a punt from earlier.
Oh, that's right.
My number 7.
Yeah. Whew, this film. I cannot explain why I love this film so much. Maybe the Tom Cruise thing, maybe the Emily Blunt thing, maybe the Bill Paxton thing. Maybe just this, for once, they turned this thing that Cruise does, and he was able to make fun of himself for being the smarmy fuck that he is, and through all these movies, trying to get out of these situations, and he's forced to go over and over through this. And it's not like, it is like Groundhog Day, but it's not like Groundhog Day, which I really enjoyed.
I don't know if this part is possible had he not done Tropic Thunder before.
Yeah, I think that's a great point.
Where he's skewering agents. It looks like, well, maybe not agents, maybe the head of a studio, and one specific head of studio. Anyway.
Yes, he is.
Is now in a world of trouble.
Yes.
I don't know if he's able to pull off that, because when he's about to be deployed with, the first wave that are just going to get mowed down. It's, you don't need me there for that. No. You guys take care of that, and I'll come in. I'll do the remote piece.
That smooth
talking. A couple days later. Trying to get out of it. But you're enlisted in this armed force.
Mm-hmm. And the whole process of it all, because every time he goes back, he's like figuring out what's happening. Like all the different times he gets killed, trying to train, trying to figure things out, trying to fight with Emily Blunt and all the stuff out on the wall. And then piece by piece, step by step. But it's just like, it's a little bit like he's learning the process as he goes along. And it's not about him being here. He's like, he's just trying to be human. Right. And they don't cop out by giving him a love story. Like there was a moment where that could have happened and they never pursue it fully, which I enjoy. And then you have him just kind of slowly figuring things out and dropping that veneer of being the smarmy guy trying to get out of shit and realizing that he does have to fucking play a hand in this game. And hopefully the hand he plays will lead him and the rest of the world out of the darkness that's about to consume them from these robot overlords. And so,
well, no, they're alien life form.
The alien life form, sorry, yeah. But they feel like, they look like robots. They look like those spider robots. That's why they scare the shit out of me, man.
Yeah, but it's all one hive mind, one central located individual is pulling all the strings on this.
See, I can't do that scary shit. And
that shit is ridiculous.
That Borg shit, I can't handle that Borg shit. Yeah, and then he has the great ending. The way I don't want to give away too much. I've probably given away too much already, but like the ending is fantastic as well because it lets you into this process of like, well, that's why there's a sequel. And you're just like, oh, I see why there's a sequel. Makes so much sense. I'm sure they didn't anticipate the possibility of it, but just in case, they threw it in there.
Yeah, I think so. I believe they had original different ending.
Yeah,
and then they tested it and they came up with, they had this maybe already shot and put it on instead. But I like, because it could feel cheap.
Yeah.
It could feel like, oh, of course, this is where it ends.
Right.
But it actually feels earned.
Right.
And yeah, I want the story to continue on thereafter.
Yeah.
Because you've created a little world and possibilities within that world now. And you could keep going with this story. This story, it's got legs.
And it's such an unusual role for Emily Blunt to play, right? You don't normally think of her as this badass action hero. And through the whole movie, she is. And really believably and powerfully, so more so than most actresses I see when they try to play badass action hero. It's very natural in Emily. It's
when I saw
incredible.
that anime sword on the advertisements and
Yeah.
whatnot, I thought it looked so ridiculous. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
And then I saw a trailer just randomly, and I was like, okay.
Yep.
Like, it doesn't look stupid.
I'm in.
Yeah, I thought it was just going to be like, you saw the exo suit, but you didn't know its power or whatnot. And it just kind of, I don't know, it looked wonky.
Yeah.
But in actual execution within the movie, totally believable. And like all the different running around. I remember when he, at one point, he's been there so many times, he's trying to save his squad at first.
Yeah.
And he like runs around the top of the dune and mows down all those guys, and they were just giving him shit. Like the slow build where he thinks he's got to save those guys.
Yeah.
And eventually realizes like I can't. The primary goal should be taking out. I
Right.
have this specific capability.
And the frustration you feel when you play a video game like that, you have to go back to the beginning,
Over and
start
over.
over and over and over again. You're like, ah.
Yeah, there's no save
so
point.
great.
It's just
Yeah.
like, oh fuck, man.
I love that whole montage when he's doing that over and over and over again. Because you're like, I get that frustration. I know that frustration.
Yeah. Just like a poorly designed level in a game. It's like, why is this level so hard?
Yeah.
So hard. And you got that one friend that can do it with
Right.
their eyes closed, and you're like, I don't know what form of mental ability you have that I don't, but that was like when we played Mike Tyson's Punch Out back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
I was never good at Tyson. I could take out who was the guy, Macho Man, right before him?
Sure.
I think it was Macho Man. I could take out the guy right before Tyson. I was the
Okay.
good, and the buddy of mine, he could take out Tyson.
Wow.
Like the two of us could do it, but he couldn't beat the dude before. And I, no problem. I had the pattern rhythm on him, and
Yeah.
then he had Tyson, so I just hand the controller back to him because I was never beating Tyson. I could make it to him every time, and I just lose every time. It sucked.
I'm sorry. That
Yeah.
does suck.
Yeah, it does suck.
Fucking Tyson. There you go. All right, so that's your number. That was my number 2.
Yeah,
So I guess, is our number 1 the same one?
I hope so.
God, I hope so.
Back to the Future.
Back to the Future, son. Yes. Woo. Woo. I was a little worried there.
I figured when I made this list, that was the easiest one. It's right across the top.
Yeah.
It's a classic.
I watched 3 again the other day, and I know people who know the Schmodown know like Back to the Future has been the pain of my existence a couple times, but it's such a fun movie, man.
Yeah.
It's such sweet. We did a Q&A for Collider. We did a screening of it in the theater, and I think we did a Q&A. Just the 4, just people from Collider going, and Jamie Costa showed up in his Michael J. Fox outfit from Back to the Future with the floating, what do you call those? The hoverboards that they, but they had like the one that J.R. Smith was using in the finals, whatever they call that thing. He came in on that and did the whole thing. It was really a lot of fun. And the film, and seeing the film in the theater again was great too.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in the theater since I was a kid.
Really? Oh, you got to go, man. It's such a blast in the theater. It's such a blast in the theater. You really enjoy the scope of what they're trying to do with that film. And it's a surprisingly larger film than you think it is, right? Because it feels like this small story of him going back in time and helping his parents out. But there's so much more that's happening that you can enjoy when you watch it in the theater.
Yeah, just I like the subtle effect on time itself, altering the past and it having a ripple effect to the present. When it's, the simple conveyance of that with the photograph, and as he and his sister and brother are fading from it, just that he realizes that he is having a demonstrative effect or demonstrable effect on the past right now and shattering it. He will die if it goes down this current course right now.
Yeah.
And I love Chuck Berry.
Marvin Berry is.
Yeah, it just
that
happens
Chuck
to be.
you've been looking for, that sound you've been looking for.
Listen to this. It just hangs out, with the phone. And just flat out stealing. So that's a lot of the artists that Chuck Berry later on. I don't know a lot. I think he sued a couple.
Yeah.
Who flat out just stole from Chuck Berry and made a new song out of it. And you're like, hey, listen, you can't just do that to Chuck Berry. We all know Chuck Berry.
Yeah.
Although it was a different time in music where you could just kind of blatantly steal like that.
Yes, you could.
Yeah, I'm glad that he won his suit. I think he won both suits.
I'm sure he did. He don't strike me as a guy who doesn't.
Yeah, but just the idea of, I don't know if they realized, maybe they did what they were doing, like a tongue-in-cheek, because I think one suit did exist before then.
Right.
I want to say it was against the Beach Boys.
Oh.
I think so.
No surprise.
But anyway, that in it. Tim Wilson, his only acting that I can think of.
Yeah.
Was he in anything else?
He's Biff.
He's Biff?
Yeah, he was in The Heat. Remember, he was there. He's their
I didn't see the
chief of police.
I didn't see. I saw the first 20 minutes.
Oh, it didn't grab you.
Nah, it didn't grab
Not
me.
you, Jim. He shows up every once in a while in certain things, and I think it's Thomas F. Wilson, or something like that. But he shows up in a number of things. Yeah, look it up. That's fine.
All right, I'm gonna look it up.
I'm just gonna look it up. But he will not do any he rarely does any Back to the Future stuff. It's really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, he's a comic. He's got a song in his act, Stop Asking Me the Question.
Yeah.
It's just like, what's Michael J. Fox like? He's nice. Kind of back and just keeps doing all the questions he's gotten over the years.
That's brilliant. But also the Leah Thompson stuff. The 80s are weird because you walk that line of like, well, I mean, his mom is hitting on him. It's incest, essentially what has happened. Just like Star Wars, that is incest. That's brother and sister stuff.
Thomas F. Wilson, you son of a bitch.
Well,
took me a second to get a signal for some reason.
That's why we're a team.
Yeah.
But like this whole thing is fascinating. But it's that innocent time in the 80s where we didn't think that kind of stuff was as prevalent. Do you know what I'm saying? Or something we thought could be prevalent. So it was innocent to us that the mom would. It's funny.
Shit! His dad was a peeping Tom.
Yeah, his dad's a peeping Tom,
and that's used for comedic effect.
Yeah, which is really gross.
It is.
Yeah,
it is. But also, like in the 50s,
yeah,
that was kind of a boys will be boys, I guess.
Right.
Type of attitude. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a weird,
Yeah. But it's still a heroic story, and and I like that Christopher Lloyd, like Doc Brown, doesn't want to get any knowledge of the future. Doesn't want it's a great little dramatic conflicts that he has to go through and hurdles he has to jump that really work narratively and organically in the film, which I enjoy.
You know what has been pointed out to me post fact?
Yeah,
that I never thought about in the first 50 times I saw that movie. The fact that Doc Brown has to have two garages because Marty knows and hangs out at the one garage.
Right.
So Brown has somewhere else where he's got a time machine that somehow Marty doesn't know, even though his best friend is Doc Brown.
And
Doc Brown's only friend is Marty.
Right.
I had never thought about that, and I was like, oh, son of a bitch. Yeah, you're right. Because he goes to the one to blow out the speakers before he goes to school that one day. That's Doc Brown's place. So where's this other one that he has no idea about whatsoever?
Very good point, man.
Yeah, and I was like, never thought about that in a million years.
Well, Marty's at school. He's building the time machine in the other garage.
Yeah, perhaps so. During school hours.
It works, man. It works. And Crispin Glover, who's such an unusual choice for this part. He
won a suit off the second movie.
Oh yeah, because they
cast an actor that kind of looked like him and then gave prosthetics that they had molded from him from the first movie. So he sued and won because they're stealing his likeness, and using it in a movie for their benefit. And so now that's a precedent for SAG, and that's built into all our contracts.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know.
You cannot do that unless you want to pay for the right.
Well,
it's like a commercial. You got to buy me out.
Yeah.
If you want to use it for X.
They must have paid Michael Shannon good money for Doomsday in BVS because it's based on him. That's his body that they put in the thing. So it's his face on that body. They must have paid him for it. But overall, just great Enchantment Under the Sea. Like all of it is just really fun and great adventures. It's just a happy film, man. And so it's such a great time travel film, and it is pretty much the time travel film. So, anything else you want to say? You want to jump into it?
No, I mean I think everybody listening to this has seen Back to the Future.
Yeah.
Unless you're super young and somehow it has escaped you, because it's been on repeat on numerous different channels over the years.
Yeah.
So, like if you like movies, reach out to us. I want to know on Twitter. Yes. Let us know, or on Facebook, facebook.com/groups/the top 10 show with the number 10.
Yeah.
Let us know on there if you have never seen Back to the Future.
Yeah, I need to know this.
I can't imagine we have a single one.
No.
I'm guessing not.
No, I hope not.
Yeah. Of the, I don't even know how many thousands upon tens of thousands now. I literally don't think. I would stack the odds.
Yeah.
Our number of listeners to one.
A person.
Yeah. Yeah. Whatever those odds are.
Right. All right, well, there's our lists separately, so now it's the time of the show where we combine our lists. So, obviously, Back to the Future number 1.
I think I'm banging this week.
Well, no, right. I don't care. Honestly. I think it's better if you write. I'm kind of in that place. So your number 2 was what again? Looper?
Looper.
So Looper will be number 2 since that was my number 4. Edge of Tomorrow was my number 2, and that's your number 7, right?
Correct. We have Groundhog Day. No, we don't, because you have it at 7.
I have it at 7, yeah.
Okay.
What?
Edge of Tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, okay. 3? All right. And then what do you have next?
I got Terminator, which you don't have.
Right.
And then I have Interstellar, which you don't have.
So I have Arrival. I do have Interstellar at 10. So you can do Terminator if you give me Arrival after that. Or
okay.
No.
That's fine.
Yeah? Okay. And then do we want to do, because I have...
Well, after that, it makes sense to me that because...
To do Interstellar?
Yeah, Interstellar and then Groundhog Day.
Yeah, sure. Well, we both have Bill and Ted's. Do we want to put that next?
Yep.
Where are we at now?
Bill and Ted's is number 8.
Oh, wow. We only have 2 slots left.
Yep.
All right.
What's your next highest?
12 Monkeys at 5.
All right, then it's 12 Monkeys at 9, and then I'll take Star Trek 4 at 10.
Star Trek got on the list. I don't believe it. That's incredible. It got on the last part of the list. Wow.
That's done.
Boom.
That was easy. That was an easy list.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was.
That was a hard fucking one to narrow down, though.
I know. Do you want to? Well, we'll talk about.
Yeah, we'll talk about that after.
Yeah. All right. Let me do some banging here. Hold on a second. The top 10 time travel films. Yeah. At number 10,
Star Trek 4.
At number 9,
12 Monkeys.
At number 8,
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
At number 7,
Groundhog Day.
At number 6,
Interstellar.
Numero 5,
Arrival.
Number 4,
Terminator.
Number 3,
Edge of Tomorrow.
Number 2,
Looper.
And our number 1 time travel film is
Back to the Future.
Yes, sir. Good list.
That is a good list. What did Citizen Ugly send us his list?
Yes, he did. Let's
go ahead and pull that up. I'll vamp for a second.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a tough list. We'll get to after we get past Citizen Ugly's list.
Yeah.
We can obviously do some others that were in contention.
Yes.
There's one I haven't seen. I was wondering if you had seen. Actually, 2.
All right.
That I saw pop up online when I just did a general Google search. And I'm like, what am I missing?
Right.
And sometimes that'll just list you, but you can usually find like Wikipedia or something of this is every movie that's ever been released in that genre, and just kind of go through. Occasionally I will need that because I know a topic is this big. Just like, okay, what am I forgetting? What am I not thinking about?
There are 3 or 4 websites I go to when I'm stuck.
Yeah.
And I go, okay. Oh, yeah, that's right. And blah, blah, blah. And I still miss stuff.
Yeah,
So,
it's inevitable.
Yeah. All right, Citizen Ugly's list. Thank you once again for suggesting the topic. And if you want to be, be a patron, go to www.patreon.com/the top10, the number 10. And you can, choose what tier you want to donate at. Of course, it's the highest tier. You get to choose a topic. That's why Citizen Ugly got to choose the topic this week of time travel films, and you may get your chance. And some of you that have already donated, we definitely have you in the mix. We'll be choosing your topics very soon. So, anyway, top 10 time travel list for Citizen Ugly. Number 10, Midnight in Paris.
Okay.
I like that choice. Number 9, The Time Machine from 1960, not the remake.
I've Never seen it.
Really?
I think I've seen bits and pieces, like 30 seconds here, 5 minutes there, kind of thing.
It's an interesting film. It's an interesting film. Number 8, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
All right.
Number 7, the Ashton Kutcher classic, The Butterfly Effect, which is strangely a good film. I didn't think I'd like it, and I actually do like it. So
I'm just gonna keep my lips sealed.
Number 6, Looper. Number 5,
6.
Yeah, it's 6. Number 5, Interstellar.
Okay.
Number 4, Edge of Tomorrow.
Sure.
Number 3, Donnie Darko, which is a film that I just do not like. I know people like it.
I went back and rewatched it not long ago, and it just doesn't. The first time I saw it, I loved it.
Really?
And then now watching it, I'm just like, the pacing of it is too slow for me.
Is it dated? Is it dated? Do you think?
Perhaps.
Okay. All right. Number 2, Terminator. Oh, just like Matt
Okay.
knows. And number 1, Planet of the Apes.
So no Back to the Future for him.
No Back to the Future for this guy. I don't understand, or this person. I don't understand why he or she doesn't have Back to the Future in there. But Citizen Ugly does not believe Back to the Future belongs in the top 10 time travel films. The film that is basically based on time travel. So it's what people think about when you say time travel films.
It's an updated time machine.
Yeah.
It's a simple device, a DeLorean, and the DeLorean was most ridiculous cocaine-fueled designed car of all time.
Based on a guy named after a guy named John DeLorean.
Yeah, who created that company.
That's right.
To choose that made the perfect sense. Like seeing that, DeLorean does seem like it could with those wings.
I
sure.
know. You want to go into a wormhole? Go explore John DeLorean and then watch those YouTube videos of him getting caught on tape trying to sell Coke or buy Coke or whatever it was. It's insane. And I don't mean Coke like Coca-Cola either. All right, that's all our list. That's Citizen Ugly's list. Thanks again so much for donating, as you said.
Thank you so much for your support. To everyone that supports us on Patreon, thank you very much. We do the Thunderdomes for you.
Yeah.
The shout-outs at the end of the month. We actually got a couple ideas cooking on the back burner because we've been trying to figure out something for I want to say the $10 tier and up because to me they've been getting the least. So I think we've worked on something maybe to give back to them.
Oh, nice. Yeah, we're working something out.
Yeah. So trust me, it should be an announcement sometime very soon.
Yeah.
On that, and I know we've been saying that about T-shirts and whatnot, but this is something different. And actually, if we can work it out between the two of us, we could probably jump on this pretty quick.
Yeah, agreed.
But anyway, so we got more stuff on the hopper. So thank you to Citizen Ugly and everybody else. And great topic.
Yeah.
Great choice.
Very great topic.
I love it because we haven't done time travel. And people have asked for it in the past. Yeah. And eventually, boom, somebody asked for it. And there's a ton of movies that we haven't really gotten to talk about on this. And others, like, what else made your side?
Terminator 2, like I said, About Time, like I mentioned. Star Trek, the 2009 version, when they go back through the dark matter and whatever.
Sure.
Frequency, which I really love.
I wrote it down. I never had a shot.
The Dennis Quaid, Jim Caviezel film. Time After Time, that great film with Malcolm McDowell and Mary Steenburgen, where he is H.G. Wells chasing Jack the Ripper through time. And Jack the Ripper is played by David Warner, who played the head of Klingon in Star Trek 6. He's also the evil guy in Titanic that works for Billy Zane. That's David Warner. Source Code, Star Trek 4. 13 Going on 30, one of my, I don't know what to tell you. It's one of my guilty pleasures with Jennifer Garner, and Hot Tub Time Machine. The Hot Tub Time Machine was on my list. So some of them didn't have a shot, but it's nice to put them on.
You missed some serious quality.
Ooh, go ahead, please.
Time Cop.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I did.
That's a soft spot for me. That was close to making it because I enjoy the living shit out of that movie.
I love Time Cop.
Flight of the Navigator.
That scum is not going back to steal money. Yeah.
Predestination.
Oh, Predestination, yes.
Army of Darkness.
Okay, all right, fine.
Are you kidding me?
I don't like that one.
I love that movie.
I know. I like the first two.
There are some others, but the two that I have not seen.
Okay.
Anyway, Primer. Have you seen Primer?
I have not seen Primer.
Okay, and then Time Crimes.
Yes, I've seen Time Crimes.
Okay, no? The look on your face says no.
Nah, didn't do it for me.
Those two, I just read the descriptions of them, and I was like, that could be interesting.
Yeah.
That could be interesting.
Yeah.
But I hadn't seen either, and I was like, I don't know.
Are there any other ones? That was it?
On the side, I mean, I had Hot Tub as well, but it never really had a shot of making it.
It's a fun film.
Prisoner of Azkaban.
Oh, right. Yes.
Yeah, but it seemed like to me, it seemed like a smaller, and it was still in the realm of this, so I don't really consider it time travel. So
I agree.
I don't, they already do magic, so what's a little bit more magic to me?
Good point.
Yeah. So that's why I didn't make it. It's an excellent movie.
You're doing magic upon magic. I can't support it.
It's a hat on a hat. It's a joke on a joke.
I can't support it.
But that's it. That's it for me. I want to say thank you so much to Chris Alexakos.
Yes.
Holding it down on Facebook for us every
Thank you,
week.
Chris.
And Kristen Smith, who helps us out with all the lists every week and creating a great graphic for that, is awesome. But our thanks to both of you. And there's so many people out there to thank, but I just happened to be on Facebook before I got here, and Leon McIntosh always posts it in Schmoville before we can, so I just want to say thank you.
Thank you, Leon.
And James Fennerin, he's always posting across every social media, so thank you for that. Yes. I can keep going and going, but those are the last two I saw. I was like, you know what? I always see them posting stuff for us, and I just wanted to say thank you. That's it.
I agree. I echo Matt's sentiments, and the rest of you. Remember, don't forget what Matt said a few weeks ago. We need to get more followers. Like, you share this on all your social media. Share retweet when we tweet it out, retweet it on yours. Talk about it. Put a little message on there, on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, saying how much you enjoy the show. Convert people to the show. We're doing all these great episodes. People really enjoy us. You enjoy us. So spread our love, our fun to their lives, because we will enrich their lives with our shows. That's what I think. That's my opinion. I don't know. Maybe you don't agree, Matt, but
it's a gorgeous opinion.
Thank you.
It is a gorgeous opinion. And that's all I got, I think, for this week. I'm actually excited to stop the show because I got a couple good ideas for John. And
look at that.
We get those. Yeah, we get those for you guys in the future. Seriously, my feet are moving and I'm doing snaps and I'm excited.
I can't close my computer. I'm going to have to make notes.
I've been trying to think of random new things to give back to people. Yeah. And I even talked it over with my wife last night. And we were spitballing and she's like, well, what about this? And I was like, okay, I like that idea. Right. I'm just trying to come up with something because you guys have been beyond my wildest dreams since we came back.
Yep.
You promised that you would be there for us. Like you made your voices heard.
Yeah.
So I just wanted it's a way to say thank you, to give something back. So anyway, that is it for me. You can follow me on Twitter or Instagram at Matt Knost, MATTKNOST.
And you can follow me at The Rocha Says, TheRochasasys. Thanks to everybody who supported us after the loss as well. All your great words, all your tweets, all the stuff like that on Facebook.
It's the only
reason
I'm going still.
Yep. You guys,
that and John, but I mean, it's the only reason.
That helps. The fans dragged Matt back into this thing, so I want to tell you guys thank you very much for supporting us.
That's all the travesty that we experienced.
Yeah, exactly.
It wasn't just us going through bullshit like
whining,
saying, "Oh no, what is this? Right. Why don't we get a fair shake?" When everybody's like, "That was not right." Right. Like, okay, I'm not crazy. Yeah. I'm not crazy.
So it's going to be up to all of you to get online and start asking for a rematch all over, and tweet at Christian, tweet at JT, at Jeff Snyder, and ask for one, and we'll see what happens. But anyway, just want to say thanks.
What movie is that where they're I think it's Half Baked. Boo this man. Boo this man. That's what I just want you to do that to JTE and to Snyder.
Yeah.
Boo these men. That's all I want. Boo them every time you see them. Just boo. You are a fucking waste of human existence. Boo. That might be a little harsh.
No, maybe a little.
That might be a little.
But that's all right. We'll save that. We're in.
Get close.
We're in.
Get close. Don't be disrespectful. We're in the mode. Those men.
We're in the mode. All right. Thanks everybody for listening this week. We will talk to you next week on the Top 10 Show.